Hello everyone! People have been living side by side with animals since ancient times. We bring them to our home. We share their cute pictures on social media. They help us work and relax. And often, they save our lives in the literal and figurative sense. Today, we will tell you some stories about rescued pets who returned the favor and helped other people and even saved them from death and disease. Let's get it on! Hobart the puppy. We all know that dogs have been man's best friend for many centuries. At home, you can play and have fun with these pets, but in the law enforcement agencies, these animals have a wide range of responsibilities. Usually, police service dogs search for illegal substances and explosives, missing people, or evidence of a crime. Last year, 2 police officers from Los Angeles, Mercado and Tavera, were on a regular patrol tour of the city when they suddenly noticed a tiny puppy on the street who stood completely alone in the middle of Hobart Boulevard. And although law enforcement officers usually look formidable, they felt very sorry for the puppy. Mercado and Tavera made an unexpected decision. They picked the poor animal up, put him in a patrol car, and drove to the police station. They also gave him a name, in honor of the boulevard where he was found. Hobart immediately sat in the front seat next to Mercado, as if it was his usual habit. Well, the Los Angeles Police Department posted these pictures and greeted a new fluffy member. It seems he'll make a great cop. Zorro the dog. In the fall of 2018, a massive Hurricane Florence brought massive devastation onto the U.S. southwestern states. The state of Ohio was almost unscathed by this natural phenomenon. However, the people living there decided to help the neighbors. For example, the police chief of the village of Marblehead in Ohio, Officer Joy, decided to set an example for the locals by sheltering a small chihuahua named Zorro in his precinct. During a period of natural disasters, when the number of stray animals increases sharply, this is especially important. But a little puppy weighing about 2 kilograms was not just a pet of a policeman. The officer built a special seat for Zorro in a patrol car and took him for rides. The dog even had a special vest, made by a local. The puppy was then enlisted on a special training program, where he will learn to help the elderly who live in nursing homes. Winston the lizard. At the end of last year, Australia was hit by ravaging fires that spiraled out of control in January. Dozens of people died, and damage of incredible proportions was done to flora and fauna. It would seem, where would the lizard story fit into this? You'll see. What you see is an Argentine black and white tegus. This is a species of lizard that lives in South America and grow to a huge size. Just imagine, this reptile can weigh up to 7 kilograms. Winston, however, is a little slimmer. It weighs a couple of 100 grams less. Before the lizard ended up with its current owner, Sarah Curry from Lansing, Michigan, nobody cared much about the poor animal. The previous owners clearly did not care for Winston, and one day they threw him out onto the street in a cardboard box. Fortunately, the staff of the local zoo helped the poor animal, and in 2015, he found a new owner. When a wave of fires rages across Australia, Sarah decided that she wanted to donate money to charity, but did not know how to get it. Her designer mindset came to the rescue. The girl thought, what if I teach Winston how to paint? Sarah consulted with a veterinarian, chose the right paint, and got down to business. The pet learned quickly, and in a couple of weeks, the couple managed to raise $2,000. Picasso the pig. It seems that the legendary Pablo Picasso has a serious competitor. Meet Picasso. A young pig who is now conquering the contemporary art market. The paintings of the animal are worth thousands of dollars, and some of them even become prints for iconic products like the Swatch wristwatch. In 2016, Picasso was rescued from a slaughterhouse, and now he lives near South African Cape Town. According to the owner, Joanne Lefson, no one ever forced the pig to paint. It happened quite naturally. One day, the girl gave the animal some stuff to play with, and Picasso immediately chose artistic brushes. And a couple of days later, the pig already created its expressionist masterpieces on canvas. Picasso signs each creation with its piglet, and in between work, it enjoys a favorite snack, caramel popcorn. In 2018, Picasso became the first animal to have its own art gallery. The paintings of this unusual artist cost from $500 to $4,000. All profit goes to the farm, where the talented animal lives. Cats of Pendleton. We've long known that cats aren't just cute, they also have a great positive effect on our mental and physical health. Some researchers even claim that the frequency of their purring helps to heal wounds faster and restore bone fractures. So it's not surprising that some hospitals, nursing homes, and even prisons use these fluffy animals for therapy. For example, the prison in Pendleton, Indiana, began to take in stray cats back in 2015. At that time, there was a special program of mental help for prisoners. The goal was for the prisoners to take care of all the cats that lived on the prison territory. The result was mutually beneficial. Animals were no longer left abandoned on the street, and prisoners felt better in a company of fluffy friends. Pumpkin the cat. This lovely cat, called Pumpkin, was not all that different from all the other animals in the shelter in Tennessee, but one day, everything suddenly changed. A wild goose was hit by a car and brought to the shelter. The animal was in shock, and the vets were just trying to calm it down when Pumpkin appeared. Unexpectedly for everyone, it jumped on the table and sat down close to the suffering bird. To the surprise of everyone, the goose immediately calmed down and fell asleep.
What?
It turned out that this was not just a coincidence or a strange accident. Pumpkin showed excellent skills in caring for other animals. Once, it even took care of a small rat, even though usually rats do not get along with cats. The shelter staff finally realized that Pumpkin should be given a special job. Now it works there as a real nurse. First of all, the cat calms down the visiting animals that are scared of their surroundings and strangers. And no matter the size and looks, Pumpkin gets along with everyone. Oliver the donkey. You've probably heard of therapy dogs and therapy cats, but could you ever imagine that even a donkey can help people cope with stress? If you think that it's a pretty useless animal, then one of the main Shrek characters would definitely look at you with disapproval.
Hold the phone.
This animal even has a name, Oliver, and this donkey helps people to fight anxiety. A girl named Stephanie bought this donkey at a livestock market in Billings, Montana, a few years ago. Soon after, Oliver had been moved into the new house. The owner noticed that there is something unusual about him. It turns out that the animal could somehow calm people down, as if having a special kind of therapeutic power. Now the donkey travels around the state helping people in difficult situations. For example, he once became a major star during the exams at Montana State University. The nervous students could pat and hug the kind animal to calm down a little before taking the exams. Shelby the dog. Have you ever watched the touching movie A Dog's Way Home?
Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel! Bella!
It has a heartwarming plot, but the real-life story of the dog who plays Bella is even more amazing. Sometime before the shooting, this dog Shelby was found in the trash on the territory of the state of Tennessee. Luckily, it was taken to a local shelter, where he remained waiting for a new owner. That's when the Hollywood production team came to the rescue. They were looking for a star for their new movie, and wanted it to be a straight dog. And his breed was supposed to be a pit bull mix, just like in the book the movie was based on. All this led the producers to the very shelter where poor Shelby lived, and the moment they looked into his eyes, it became clear this was the perfect candidate for the role. However, Shelby wasn't unemployed for long after the film was shot. It turns out that the animal also had exceptional therapeutic skills. After some training, the dog was taken to hospitals and other institutions to help children, the elderly, and the seriously ill. Gavel the dog. Dogs are truly an integral part of the police force, but alas, not every dog can become a police officer. To work in law enforcement, animals have to be trained for a long time, and they are pre-selected according to many criteria. This German Shepherd Gavel began training for police work when he was still a puppy, but unfortunately the dog never managed to become the new Inspector Rex. It was kicked out of the Police Dog Academy for being too nice. The owner of the dog, however, is the governor of the Australian state of Queensland, Paul de Jersey, and he, of course, was not going to leave his friend behind or without a prestigious title, so little Gavel was assigned to another, specifically created position of the vice-regal dog. His duties include meeting guests at the governor's residence and participating in the ceremonies. Gavel even has a special dress uniform for this. Geese police. Dogs are, of course, cool, but the police in the Chinese Xinjiang have found an interesting alternative. A few years ago, local law enforcement agencies reported that they were employing ordinary geese. Naturally, this immediately resulted in a flurry of ridicule around the world, but the idea is actually not as weird as it might seem at first glance. The thing is, these domestic birds are extremely attentive and have very good hearing. They're also brave and ready to attack anyone who breaks into a house. And, by the way, the Chinese were not the first to use geese for police and military purposes. For example, the US Army used hundreds of birds to guard its facilities in West Germany during the Cold War, and some historians even believe that it was the geese that helped the Romans deal with the Gallic invasions.